No man has the right to leave the world no better than he found it. He must add something to it. Either he must make its people better and happier, or he must make the face of the world fairer to look at. Edward Bach.
Welcome to Bach Tower Gardens, a place like no other. A National Historic Landmark, nestled among rolling hills of citrus, atop one of Peninsular Florida's highest points, a place of quietness to elevate your mind and spirit. Edward W. Bach retired from publishing and dedicated his life to conservation, the arts, world peace, and philanthropy. In the early 1920s, during visits to his winter home in the nearby Mountain Lake community, he enjoyed evening walks to the top of Iron Mountain. At 298 feet above sea level, the natural beauty of this hilltop was a place of serenity from which he observed breathtaking sunsets. Bach's dream was to preserve these grounds as a sanctuary for future generations. Bach spent his early childhood in the Netherlands, where memories of lush forests planted by his grandfather and music from town and village carillons inspired him. With an enduring love of nature and music, he called upon famed landscape architect Frederick Law Olmsted Jr. in 1922 to design a meditative garden that celebrates Florida's native plants and birds.
We will present mankind with a spot which will reach out in its beauty to people and fill their souls with the quiet, the repose, the influence of the beautiful. Edward Bach.
The result is one of Olmsted's greatest achievements, a naturalistic masterpiece. Respected for his defining work on the National Park System, as well as the designs of the National Mall, Jefferson Memorial, and the White House grounds, Olmsted sought inspiration for Bach's garden from the natural areas of Florida. Acres of ferns, palms, oaks, and pines fashion a lush backdrop for flowering plants and spectacular seasonal colors. Tranquil resting spots, scenic vistas, and meandering pathways beckon you to explore, reflect, and renew. At the center of Olmsted's design is Bach's majestic Singing Tower, designed by architect Milton B. Maderi. Crafted of coquina, Georgia marble, and ceramic tile, the 205-foot tower houses the 60-bell carillon, one of the world's finest. Maderi's Art Deco design won the American Institute of Architects' top award, harmonizing a seamless marriage between architecture and landscape. Edward Bach's only instructions were that the tower must be beautiful and reflect nature. Pelicans, songbirds, rabbits, tortoises, fox, eagles, herons, and many other creatures adorn the tower. Maderi brought with him 3 skilled artisans to assist in the tower's creation. Sculptor Lee Laurie is best known for his sculpture of Atlas at Rockefeller Center in New York City. J.H. Dulles Allen created the colorful tile grills that surround the bell chamber, and the intricate but massive wrought iron work is that of famed artist Samuel Yellen, whose work is represented at the Washington National Cathedral and other historic landmarks. Mirrored in the reflection pool is Yellen's crowning jewel, the incomparable brass door. Drawn from the Book of Genesis, 30 relief panels tell the story of creation. Beyond the door is the Founder's Room. Although not open to the public, this stately room was once the private study of Edward Bach. The soaring vaulted ceiling, Yellen's ironwork and fixtures, and Dulles Allen's mosaic tile floor are some of the architectural treasures within.
I have ventured to write of the Mountain Lake Sanctuary, universally conceded by every visitor to be the most beautiful spot of its area in America, and of the Singing Tower there erected, unanimously christened by everyone who has traveled and sees its superlative beauty as the Taj Mahal of America. Edward Bach.
A small elevator provides access to the tower's 6 main levels, including the Founder's Room, Chow Research Center housing our archives, a curator's workshop, the Anton Breeze Carillon Library containing the world's largest collection of carillon music and reference documents, the Collins Carillonneur Studio, and the Playing Room. The magnificent 60-bell carillon was crafted by the John Taylor Bell Foundry of Loughborough, England. The bells are housed in a chamber 40 feet tall and 35 feet wide. Daily 30-minute live or recorded carillon concerts at 1 and 3 p.m. can be heard throughout the gardens. Clock music plays every 30 minutes. Geert de Hollander from Belgium is recognized as one of the top carillonneurs in the world, and only the 4th resident carillonneur in the garden's history. During live concerts, watch de Hollander perform on a closed-circuit television in a seating area just northwest of the tower, or enjoy the concert from one of many quiet benches found throughout the gardens.
I've been playing the carillon since I was 5 years old, since my dad is also a carillonneur. So it was a lot of fun climbing all those towers and seeing all these different instruments. There are about 600 instruments worldwide, and I think I'm close to playing 400 of them, and there is no place like this. Bach Tower Gardens is really, really unique. The location, the setting, historical instruments, 60 bells, 60 tons, which is incredible heavy. It's just gorgeous. The bells are made of bronze, and on the inside of each bell you have a clapper. So the bells don't move, it's only the clapper that moves. So when I strike a key, you have a wire going up through a clapper, and the clapper is moving and produces the sound. This is definitely my favorite instrument, just because of that, the setting, the tower, the style, the beautiful heavy bells, 60 tons, it's incredible.
On February 1st, 1929, Edward Bach's dream of creating a place that would touch the soul with its beauty and quiet was realized. President Calvin Coolidge, joined by a host of dignitaries and honored guests, dedicated Bach Tower Gardens.
The first time that I came to Bach Tower Gardens was in 1929 for the dedication.
I was 10 years old back in 1929. My family in a Model T Ford came up to see the dedication, and cars were coming in from all directions.
We were bumper to bumper all the way coming in. It took us forever to get into the tower.
It was just like a parking lot, and my dad knew about an orange grove near the tower, and he crossed over and went through the grove, and we got there on time. And several cars tried to follow us, they got stuck.
And by memories are, of course, memories that a child remembers. And one of the biggest memories was that the men had funny hats on. They had those top hats, and they were everywhere, and I had never seen them like that, you know. I remember just looking and looking and looking at all the people.
At the ceremony, I heard President Calvin Coolidge speak, so that was quite a thrill for a 10-year-old.
We have a special need for a sanctuary like this, to which we can retreat from quality time, from the daily turmoil, and have a place to rest and think under the quieting influences of nature and nature's God.
Today, you can experience Bach Tower Gardens in your own special way. Plan to tour the adjacent Pinewood Estate, a 20-room mansion built in 1932 by Charles Austin Buck, a Bethlehem Steel vice president. Listed on the National Register of Historic Places, the property is one of the finest examples of Mediterranean-style architecture in Florida. During the holiday season, the mansion is decorated in a festive period design to highlight its stunning architectural details. Once part of the same mountain lake community where Edward Bach wintered, Pinewood Estate was purchased by the gardens in 1970 and carefully restored. Self-guided tours are offered daily and take about an hour. Tickets are available at the Visitor Center's information desk. Created as a bird sanctuary, the Gardens is a designated site on the Great Florida Birding and Wildlife Trail. Walk the Pine Ridge Preserve through a pristine longleaf pine forest abounding with wildflowers, where you may see one of our resident gopher tortoises. Sit at the window by the pond to watch ducks and wading birds in a Florida wetland setting, where nature's show is always changing. Conservation is key to our mission. The garden's land preservation efforts have protected thousands of acres of natural areas, such as the nearby Tiger Creek Preserve, located 8 miles south of here. The preserve is open to the public and offers miles of hiking trails through ancient pine forest. As part of a nationwide network of 39 botanical gardens that participate in the Center for Plant Conservation, our Rare Plant Conservation Program works to conserve rare native plants. Our region's unique geological history has created an ecosystem that is home to one of the greatest concentrations of endangered plants in the nation. 48 rare species are found on the Lake Wales Ridge, and nowhere else in the world. You can see many of these plants in our endangered plant garden. Special events and educational activities are held at the gardens throughout the year. Music concerts, festivals, workshops, moonlight carillon performances, and more. Bach Tower Gardens is also a great place to host your own special event, from garden weddings to family reunions. Dining and shopping complement the visitor experience. Stop in the Blue Palmetto Cafe for refreshments, or a fresh prepared meal in a unique garden setting. A fine selection of books, gifts, gardening supplies, and plants can be found in our gift shop. Wheelchairs and mobility carts are also available. A courtesy shuttle to the tower and Pinewood Estate is offered, but the pleasant walk allows visitors to explore our meandering pathways and experience the quiet surprises of the gardens. Visit the exhibit hall just outside the theater for a more in-depth look at the life of Edward Bach, the carillon, and the unique habitat of the Lake Wales Ridge. Consider becoming a member of the gardens or volunteer with us. Benefits include year-round admission, discounts at our cafe and gift shop, special events, tours, and more. Bach Tower Gardens is built on a rich history of music, conservation, and horticulture. You'll notice several projects taking place as we preserve Edward Bach's legacy and steward the future. Coming in the spring of 2016 is a new children's garden, edible garden and outdoor kitchen, wild garden, and new exhibits to better tell our story.
When I imagine the stories of the future, I think about what stories will my daughters tell and what stories will their children tell. And I imagine that my grandchildren will come to visit me, and the first place they'll want to go is Bach Tower Gardens.
It's almost like a spiritual nature experience here of quietness, and people have been having that same experience, I think, for 80 years. That's what we're really trying to preserve here and really enhance.
It was intentionally created as a refuge, a place where you could come and experience just something very, very peaceful and beautiful, a place suffused with beauty.
We invite you to get involved and join us in our mission to preserve and share the history, the serenity, and the beauty of Bach Tower Gardens.
Wherever your lives may be cast, make you the world a bit better or more beautiful, because you have lived in it. Edward Bach.